So, I was on the internet looking for something to pull my 12-year-old Minecraft PP2. Then I found this. So I was checking this video out thinking, oh, maybe he isn't a peasant. Maybe he has good points because, there are actually valid reasons to get a console. But no, I don't think that's what this will be. I think that this is an old man running out of a nursing home, smearing his shit on cars and screaming blasphemy. Let's get into the video.
You are watching the Sony Legion TV network.
What's poppin', people? I'm rated D and I've tested positive for swag. Now, I didn't want to have to make this video because I myself am a PC gamer. Though I'm not someone that exclusively games on PC. PC is, really my second or third choice. I'm primarily a PlayStation gamer. I also like Nintendo quite a bit. And PC and Nintendo kind of switch around for second or third place. It depends on, the time of year, what games are out, things like that.
Really? I mean, what makes PS4 on top and PC and Nintendo Switch in the middle? Like, what are you talking about when you say that? Are you talking about player base? Are you talking about exclusives? If you're talking about player base, PC, well, just Steam alone, but there's other things like Origins and other places that people play, but on Steam alone, Steam has more players than PlayStation. And when it comes to exclusives, we have more exclusives than you too, and I'm not just talking about shitty indies. In fact, we have more exclusives than every single console combined. So, where are you getting your information from, and what are you talking about when you say that? Because to me, it sounds like you're just pulling bullshit out of your ass. Oh wait, you are.
For second or third place. It depends on, the time of year, what games are out, things like that. But I'm ashamed of myself to be calling myself a PC gamer sometimes.
And I'm ashamed of you being a gamer at all. You make us look bad.
When I see how the PC community behaves here on the internet. Recently, I've seen someone really start to get a lot of attention. I think his name is Rags. And
let me stop you right there. My video format that I'm doing for this and the way that I'm editing my video is based off of Rags. And I'm just saying right now, he does what I do. He criticizes idiots who don't know what they're talking about.
And I don't understand what's wrong with this guy. I think he needs to take a look in the mirror, really.
Now, why would he have to take a look in the mirror? I mean, he doesn't really do anything wrong. He criticizes people just like you are allowed to criticize people, and just like I'm criticizing your video for being an idiot and having false information. And I sit down and watch Rags a lot, and he does nothing but give constructive criticism, not bad criticism. You can watch him yourself. He makes more constructive criticism than me, but I'd like to see why you think he should be looking in a mirror.
I don't understand why people like him feel the need to bash on these console peasants.
For one, giving constructive criticism isn't bashing or attacking anyone. And like I said, they can watch his videos right now and see that he doesn't bash or attack people. He gives constructive criticism. Do you even know the definition of a console peasant? A console peasant who spreads false information or lies about other platforms or about their self to make them look better and make their favorite console look better. Alright, that's a console peasant. They deserve a bashing, but he doesn't bash them, he criticizes them for lying.
Console peasants. I don't understand it because PC has its fair share of problems that these PC nerds don't want to accept, Let me just run through a few real quick, okay? Because I'm totally 100% unbiased, and I call it like I see it, Now, as an Assassin's Creed fanboy, I still enjoyed Assassin's Creed Unity quite a bit, okay? And I got that on PS4. Now, the game at launch, yes, it had technical problems, yes, it had frame rate problems, but the game still worked, you know? There were some levels early on in the game, you know, that there are these stained glass windows in these churches where when you were around them, the frame rate would dip quite a bit. Sometimes when you're around Notre Dame, the frame rate would dip. There was also a sneaking mission early on. In that mission, there was some frame rate drops as well. But at the end of the day, there weren't that many areas where the frame rate was bad, okay? And again, at the end of the day, the game was still playable. The characters still looked right. Compare that to PC, where many people couldn't even run the game. For a lot of people, the characters were not showing up on screen properly. You guys saw those now infamous bugs. I mean, the game was a mess on PC.
You see, that's because they decided to make a shitty port. Alright? That is on the developer side. Alright? As someone who recently converted from console, I can tell you there were tons of games too that also had frame rate issues, being buggy as hell. Have you seen the new Minecraft for the Xbox One edition? Half the time it won't even start up, and then you have to restart your Xbox to make it start up. That thing is literally being held together by Scotch tape. My biggest issue with this statement is that, well, there's a fair share amount of games that fuck up on PC and console, but it's usually the developer's fault and not the hardware.
And that's because the majority of people that matter game on consoles.
Alright, because my OBS is messing up, I can't just show this to you, so I'm going to put in a description. But basically, what I just showed you, and what you can check in the description, is a post about how they surveyed 4,500 game developers at a game developers conference, and they all said that PC and phone are way more important than consoles. So, you know, that just kind of makes you look like a dumbass. You see, how to not make an idiot of yourself is actually very simple. All you have to do is do research.
Okay, so developers don't care to appeal to the PC community so much. You know what I mean? It's always going to be consoles first and then PC second.
Well, according to 4,500 developers, it's PC first, phones second, consoles third. How do you feel that you're below phones? I'll let that sink in.
To appeal to the PC community so much. You know what I mean? It's always going to be consoles first and then PC second in the minds of developers. And one of the reasons for that may be, now I'm not saying this is it, but it may be just one of the reasons that so many PC gamers pirate games.
Another link I will also leave in the description is actually about developers also saying they'd rather have you pirate their game instead of basically buying it used. You see, when you buy a game used, the developer gets no money. That money goes straight to a company like GameStop. The developer doesn't make any money off of used copies. The reason why developers would rather have you pirate the game than buy it used is because here's a good example of a survey went out a while ago where basically they surveyed multiple people who have pirated. The majority of the pirates were kids that were very young, and also most of the pirates either pirated it because they had no money and they planned on getting it in the future, or just to test the game and use it as a demo. If they didn't like it, they would delete the pirate. If they liked it, then they would go out and buy the game. In fact, the company CD Projekt Red, the creators of The Witcher 3, which is, well, known for being an awesome game, actually came out and said, you know, they'd rather have you pirate it, because if you like it, then that's a potential fucking customer. But if you buy the game used, they get nothing, and you're probably not going to go out and buy the game new.
I mean, do you guys remember when Far Cry 4 came out? There were a lot of PC gamers complaining about some stuff in the game not working right, and then the developers came out and said, hey, if you're having these issues, that means that you pirated the game.
For one, Ubisoft games have been known for having tons of issues. And so you're telling me if a PC gamer is like, hey, I found this bug, they're like, nope, we patched that. That means you pirated the game because you're having issues with our shitty Ubisoft game. And who in the right mind would be like, hey, I have a pirated, outdated version of the game, and I'm gonna go complain about glitches or bugs that were probably already patched? Like, that's stupid, alright? Your logic there is kind of fucking stupid. Chances are Ubisoft were trying to just deflect all the issues somewhere else so they didn't have to deal with your shit because, you know, they're a shitty company.
Because normal working versions of the game that people buy, we made sure don't have those problems.
That's not how pirated versions work, alright? The developers don't magically make a pirated version of the game. No, they pull out a pirated they create a pirated version of the game. The pirators do, alright? They can't just magically add bugs to something they can't get their hands on. They can't just magically take a pirated version of a game that was made by someone else and instantly make all these bugs and glitches for it. They can't do that. That's not how the world works.
But we made sure that the pirated versions do have these problems. And this is also the same Ubisoft who at one point said that over 95% of their games on PC that people play are pirated. That's insane.
That's bullshit. Show me a post. Show me some kind of proof that that's actually true, because it's fucking not, alright? You can obviously tell that he pulled that out of his ass, because in the link in the description you'll see that the percentage of actual pirators there are is actually pretty low compared to 90%.
And then you look at the recent sales numbers for Titanfall. EA says the game has sold over 7 million copies on PC, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. Meanwhile, Respawn in the past have said that they had over 10 million players on Titanfall. What does that mean? It means that 3 million pirated the game on PC.
For one, they cannot control or know how many people play on a pirated version of the game. For two, pirators can't play with the rest of the people because they don't basically run off of Origin accounts. For three, where's a post to this? Alright? Where is a link to this? Like I said, Respawn does not have the power, and in no way can they figure out how many people have pirated and played the game through a pirate. Alright? They have no control and no way to see that. What I'm saying is since pirators can't play with normal people who bought the game, and they can't count the pirator servers, they can't count how many separate people who are playing on the separate pirated version. So what that means is the 10 million players that you're talking about can't be playing the pirated version, because those were counted on, well, Origin. Those were counted on, you know, their fucking counters, which are completely separate from pirates. Alright? Completely separate. It doesn't work like that.
So yes, PC has its fair share of problems, and it's largely because of pirates, okay? Now, moving on from that to another point that's kind of connected to it. Consoles don't really have complications. Everything, it's that one piece of hardware, and developers deal for that specific type of hardware, and that's it. You don't have 100 different types of PlayStation 4s the way you can have hundreds of different types of PCs, all these different drivers, graphics cards, all that type of stuff. So you have an easy, simple, basic, solid setup with consoles. You end up with a very solid gaming experience on consoles.
Alright, so that's kind of bullshit what he's saying there for a couple of reasons. For one, they purposely build hardware to be compatible with other hardware. And when it comes to drivers, if it was as complicated as you're saying it is, then how can I run my 1050 Ti on Fallout New Vegas, which was created in 2010, long before the 1050 Ti. That's because the hardware creators create drivers to work for New Vegas. The developers don't create drivers for it to work with the graphics card. They create it to work with New Vegas. That's how it works. So it's not complicated for developers besides a few hitches here and there, but there's only a few differences. So to say that there's so many complications is complete and utter bullshit. Alright? You don't know what you're talking about there because they purposely make things compatible. And FYI, consoles do not give you a solid hardware experience, or a solid experience when it comes to gaming, because the hardware in it is from 2008 and 2010. That's something you gotta keep in mind. In fact, the Xbox One and PS4 CPU was originally supposed to be for tablets, which should show you how fucking weak it is. In fact, game developers have straight up came out and said that because of the Xbox One and PS4's limitations, they basically have to stop from creating their dream game or creating the big game they want to do because of the limitations. And why the CPU inside the Xbox One and PS4 can be compared to the PS3 CPU. When the Xbox One and PS4 came out, they should have been comparable to my 1050 Ti. My 1050 Ti can handle games at high settings, 1080p, 60 FPS, and I'm talking about on Fallout 4. The Xbox One can hardly handle medium to low settings, 30 FPS at 900p. From the moment that the Xbox One and PS4 came out, they were severely out of date. And you would be like, oh, well, the Xbox One and PS4 Pro make up for that. No, because since they still have to be developed for the PS4 and Xbox One, they're still being held back. It's honestly a fucking shithole.
Basic, solid setup with consoles. You end up with a very solid gaming experience on consoles because everything has to be structured for that specific piece of hardware. Whereas with PCs, because of so much variety, you can have tons of complications. That's one of the reasons that there were so many different issues with Unity on the PC. And moving on to my last point, going about games, Assassin's Creed Unity being a multi-plat, you don't really have a lot of exclusives on PC, at least that are worth it, With consoles, you have tons of high-quality exclusives that people all over the place, are championing as being some of the greatest games ever made.
Recently, I've been playing this game called Stories Untold, which is a Let's Play that I'm also doing on my channel that you should check out. It is a great fucking game, and that is an indie.
And I don't think it's any coincidence, and my buddy Dobby Potter has made tons of videos about this, that so many PC fanboys are making petitions begging for these different exclusives on consoles. I mean, you look at games like Uncharted 4, The Last of Us, God of War.
In a second, I'm about to be saying a shit ton of exclusives that Steam have that are highly rated and so on. But before I do that, he's going to say something really stupid in a second. So I'm going to just wait till he says that, then I'm going to say all the Steam exclusives, so on.
Days Gone is looking amazing. I can't wait to play that. You know, Gran Turismo, Ratchet and Clank, The Last Guardian. You know, all these great exclusives on PlayStation, and then Nintendo as well. Don't forget, Nintendo's got 3D Mario games. You got Zelda, you got Smash Bros, you got Mario Kart. A lot of great games on Nintendo platforms as well. Even Xbox, before, you know, Halo and Gears were exclusive, no longer, but you know, at one time they were. And you know, you don't really have these big name games on PC that are exclusive. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest problem with PC at the end of the day.
One thing that I started to realize, and one of the biggest reasons that I actually switched to PC, is these big name games, these AAA games, usually have no soul. They have usually nothing unique to them, and the creators are just stuffing it out there to please the publishers. Games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, and by the way, I love Halo. I should just throw that out there. You know, Assassin's Creed. These games that are pumped out left and right with hardly any differences and no soul to them, no creativity, just the same goddamn thing. You know, honestly, I'd rather take my indies. On PC, there are a lot more people who are devoted to just making a good game and aren't controlled by big companies to do it by a due date or owned by a big company. They might not be AAA, but they are amazing games built by people who can actually put their soul into it and make completely unique games that you never see anywhere else. And since they uploaded the Steam, the reason why they put their games up for sale on only Steam is mostly because Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4 decide to basically make it where you literally have to pay them to release your game on Steam, causing them to stick to only Steam. And because of that, PC has tons of great and beautiful exclusives that can only be found on Steam because, well, Xbox and PlayStation want to be greedy as fuck. And because of that, you'll never see some of these great and amazing games ever be ported to Xbox and PlayStation. And that's the reason why they aren't. And that's why you usually see these, you know, posted to Xbox or PlayStation years later.
Is that it doesn't have exclusives that are worth it.
Frostpunk, Sudden Strike 4, Rust, Total War Warhammer 2, The Remains of Edith Finch, Raft, Stories Untold, Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Wasteland, CSGO, Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2 by the creators of Fallout New Vegas, Death Road to Canada, Vampire, Evaluation, Don't Starve Together, The Forest, DayZ, Insurgency, Enter the Gungeon. Oh, and by the way, all of those were the highly rated ones from, like, those were all the highly rated ones from the first couple of rows of indies, like all the ones that have overwhelmingly positive reviews. And those were before I got bored of typing. There's tons of others. Just simply go to the store and look at the indies and look at the reviews on most of the indie games that are apparently not worth your time. You know, the reviews that, you know, the games that get more reviews and better reviews than Call of Duty and other games like that. Yeah. Alright, so how about you shut your pie hole?
Okay. For me personally, the only PC exclusive that I got was Metro 2033, and that ended up coming to consoles later on as well. So there's just not.
I hope you understand, just because something has a big, giant commercial, and just because it has a big producing company that controls the developers' every single moves and tells them exactly what to make, doesn't instantly make it a good game. And like I said, gaming is an art, and the thing is they are controlled. Companies that make Call of Duty, especially with Black Ops 4, Black Ops 4 is a good example. They wanted to try something new and big and unbelievable, but rumors has it the reason why the fucking multiplayer is so shit now is because they had to scrap everything they did because Activision made them and set up something similar to a Call of Duty today, showing that they aren't allowed to be free and do unique things with their ideas. And that goes for any company. They do not get to have their own dream when they create a game. They are forced down one path and they can't do anything too big or too changing, or all their work will instantly be scrapped by the publishing company, which gives you the same old shit over and over again.
That much on PC in regards to exclusives. There's just not. I mean, as far as quality goes, sure, you may have these bad indie games here and there.
Isn't it kind of weird that those bad indie games have higher reviews than games like Fallout 4 and other huge big name third-party games or fucking AAA games out there? Like, all of those, games that actually have higher reviews and actually have some creativity put into them. And not bad indie games here and there, shit tons of good indie games fucking left and right. They're everywhere, and new ones come out every day that actually are good games. So I think it's kind of bullshit that you're saying that. It's like, you don't own a PC at all and you're pulling this out of your ass. Like I said, just because it has a big flashy trailer doesn't mean it's good. Alright? You're just bullshitting because you have no good and, actual examples.
But you see the reviews on Steam. These games are not good.
All the games I named are games that I heard of and I've been interested in from the first and second page of the what's popular in the indie section of Steam. They all have great reviews. Check yourself. They have great reviews, so I have seen the reviews and they're fucking magical. They're a whole lot better than your goddamn AAAs. And, well, that's just bullshit. What you say is bullshit. Stop with your malarkey and actually do some research. Faggot.
So, that's really it. I mean, PC doesn't have worthwhile exclusives the vast majority of the time. And you have all these other issues, So, next time...
And I debunked everything that you said. We have more exclusives. There are nearly no issues like you're fucking saying, because I do research. And plus I have a PC and I have a console. So what are you talking about?
You have these PC nerds that feel the need to...
These console peasants who spread lies and are idiots and have no idea what they're talking about. These console peasants. By the way, you're not a peasant if you play on console.
To rag on console peasants. Yeah, I think you need to slap them with some information.
Oh, like I slapped you with some actual information and debunked everything that you said with my information? Something you didn't research?
To shut them up, because they're really getting out of hand right now, are these PC nerds. And like I said, I'm ashamed at times to call myself a PC gamer.
Damn right I'm out of fucking hand. Damn right I am. I'm pissed off with all the bullshit and lies that you're just spewing out of your fucking ass flaps. Alright? Of course I'm angry at you because all you do is lie, so I am getting out of hand. I am, because I have to deal with you.
Because of these clowns. So, that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep it frosty.
Remember, guys, the definition of a console peasant is someone who spreads lies or misinformation. Just because you play on console doesn't mean you're a console peasant. You're just a gamer like me. Except I'm a critic. Ugh. I'm a critic. But I hope you all enjoyed. The reason why I decided to make this video is because this person was making, well, a complete and utter idiot out of himself, and it made me laugh. Don't listen to a single thing that he says because it's all bullshit. Every single bit of it that comes out of his mouth is nothing but pure grade A shit jiggling out of his ass flaps. Don't trust this ass flap malarkey faggot. It's your boy Greg. Goodbye.